Hey, welcome back to another PT Pearl from the Optimal Body Podcast. I'm Dr. Dom.
I'm Doc Jen.
And this is actually part 2 on our episode on DOMS. That joke never gets old. And this is just strategies on how to reduce the delayed onset muscle soreness that you might feel after doing heavy workouts. So without further ado, here they are.
We'll transition to the management of DOMS and that intense soreness that you feel like, what do you do, right? There's so many things that we can Google and look at and say, oh, that's what we should do. We looked into a little bit more of the science and some of the studies that are currently out. Obviously, this can continue to change. However, what we know to be true is exactly that. We want fluids to move. So how are some of the things that we can do that? Well, if we want things to move, passively sitting there might not be the best thing. So complete rest, maybe not. Stretching, maybe not. Static stretching.
Yeah, just sitting there in a static stretch. No. To cover our bases, we need to talk about anything that's going to address your general inflammation in the first place. So making sure after you do these workouts, get a great night's sleep. Make sure that you're drinking plenty of water because you probably put off a lot of water and your body needs a lot of water to do all of this rebuilding. So make sure you get great water intake. You eat a nice nutritious meal so you have the building blocks and you're not clogging it up with a bunch of processed junk. Other anti-inflammatory compounds like cinnamon or curcumin, which is a version of turmeric. The Genius Mobility Supplement, it's got curcumin, it's got some other compounds that are great for inflammation and great for like getting rid of some of those aches and pains. But I just wanted to touch on a lot of general things that can help push inflammatory processes along and like speed up that healing process.
How can we get fluids moving then is activity. Now, again, like you said before, that doesn't mean that we're doing the heavy workout that we caused the DOMS in the first place. And I know some people like mentally need to work out every day. Okay. And I get that. And so if you need to do a workout every single day, you just need to then back it off for a couple days at least, and then get back into a heavier workout. So there's still always ways to be able to move. That can include walking, a small jog or something that's a little lighter, a light exercise, a lighter lift, more Pilates, yoga, mobility, that kind of thing. And then getting back into your heavier lift. But moderate, low intensity exercise is one of the best ways that they've found to really start to move the DOMS process along.
One of the greatest way to get our lymphatic system moving, which is kind of that garbage dump system of all of the tubes in our body, is movement and muscle pumping. It's going to keep pumping the fluids through our body and out of our body. So that's huge. And then a lot of people like to ask, okay, do I use heat? Do I use cold? What's going to help get rid of this soreness?
Mm-hmm. First of all, I would say that we've done podcasts on each of those where we talked not only even about like from an ice pack to a cold body immersion from like the cold plunge. So we talked about that all in the cold episode, plus the heat episode as well. So we talked all the way from heat packs to infrared saunas, steam sauna, all the kind of things. I would say go listen to those podcasts because they're going to have a lot more meat in terms of when you should do these. However, in general, like if we're talking a cold plunge directly after you're working out, although it might mitigate symptoms that you're feeling because we are just immersing our body in complete cold. So we're kind of like numbing those processes and you might feel like I don't have the delayed onset muscle soreness. I mean, we're also then kind of impeding along the natural process of inflammation within the body to help bring nutrients and healing and everything else. So it could be good in terms of reducing symptoms, but it might not be great in terms of getting that full recovery process that we actually need from good, healthy inflammation in the body.
Yeah, the overall healing process will literally be frozen. We like vasoconstrict, so we stop fluids from flowing into our extremities and we make it significantly harder for things to get in and out. And so what's your goal? Is your goal just to get out of pain a little bit? Maybe some ice can help with that, but chronic icing when you're in this inflammatory state is not great. And it might actually press off that healing process a lot longer.
And as far as heat goes, again, because we have this inflammation that's happening, especially with DOMS, when it's so intense of that soreness, you probably don't want to apply heat right away because you're just going to increase that inflammatory process. But it's okay to kind of use heat after you're kind of over that peak stage. So at least 48 hours, wait, make sure that it's not increasing because it is going to help to just kind of downregulate the body, downregulate the system, create that parasympathetic effect, help to just continue to increase that blood flow and those nutrients and get everything to your body.
everything is going to, for us, circle around to active movement and how that can be a key component of what you're doing to get rid of this soreness or to accelerate the healing process. A lot of people will say, oh, let's rub it out. Let's use foam rollers. Let's use those massage guns. Like, how can I get rid of that soreness? Again, this is going to probably make it feel like it's helping with your pain. Our brain's going to let off these happy chemicals and say, oh, we're getting rid of this soreness because we're rubbing it out. We're getting rid of the scar tissue, which isn't actually happening, but we have this physiologic response that allows our body to feel a little bit more safe, relax a little bit. So our tissues are always going to relax. And just when you rub your shoulder, like if you bump your knee, you bump your shoulder and you rub it, we have this process called mechanical gating. It's kind of the same thing that happens in cold and hot therapies. Our brain feels the cold, the hot, or the rubbing faster than it does feel the pain. So it more so distracts our mind from, hey, you're not actually feeling pain, you're just feeling somebody rubbing or feeling something cold or hot.
And when we looked at the literature, massage is one of the best ways at reducing DOMS because of that fluid movement, that pressure, and you're getting that perception of reduced pain, like exactly like you're saying. So it's like we look at professional athletes, they're continuously getting worked on manually. That was like the Tom Brady series. He was like continuously having someone work on his body all the time.
Yeah, his trainer's huge in like myofascial stuff and the tissue, but they usually do it as an active part of the exercise. And he gets a lot of like the active, manual release where he's moving while his trainer's working on him. So you're getting that tissue loading while you're getting this, active manual therapy of sorts. So it's combining all of kind of the benefits of you're still loading, you're still pumping the muscles, you're still getting the benefit of the mechanical gating, and your brain feels happy because someone's working on you. So
the touch, the fluid movement.
Combine it all into one. So manual therapies actually can be pretty beneficial. The percussive guns.
Yeah, the massage guns.
Yes.
In other episodes as well. So please go back to previous episodes. We've talked about all of this stuff so you can learn a lot more.
And our favorite new massage gun that we just discovered is called Lyric, which is pretty amazing.
It actually really is. The technology with it is like no other.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like any other massage gun, but it has this tech in it where it can give you specific protocols to follow, and you'll just say like, oh, pain, what can I do for some pain? And then so there's a lot of education that goes into what it's actually doing on your body, and it connects Bluetooth. The tech these days, let me tell you.
Yeah, and it's really addressing more of that neuroaffective pain. Like, how can I use vibration to really start to change the way my brain is perceiving in my body? And I think they do a great job at not just like, let's hit the big muscles of what you feel, but let's actually address how your body and your system all work together, kind of almost thinking of like acupuncture, and how we can stimulate different areas of the body to create a more parasympathetic, relaxed response. And I think that's what I actually enjoyed about the Lyric.
Yeah, and then I get done with it and my back pain's gone, but the Lyric didn't actually touch my back.
Yeah.
Which again, they take advantage of a lot of these neural principles that, along with the percussion and the vibration, that just makes your whole body feel a little bit more relaxed and safe. But they educate that way. They're not educating in a way to say like, oh, it's blasting out your scar tissue or it's blasting. Like, no, they're actually giving you real good hard science. So check out the Lyric.
We'll link it below on the YouTube and on the podcast because it really, ladies, it's beautiful. They definitely know who they're marketing to, I will say. And it's honestly cheaper, but with better technology than any of the other guns out there. That was something I was mainly looking at, is how much does it cost? Because that's a huge thing. The fact that they're doing such a great job overall in really capturing the entire aspect of, let's look at price, let's look at how it works, let's look at what we're doing to educate and actually help the body. Like, all of it is hitting for me, and it's pretty.
Yeah. And the main reason it came up is it can help you with your muscle soreness after you work out. Total tangent, but still related to what we're talking about, where it can be a huge tool in optimizing what you're doing in movement. Using that Lyric and doing some active movement stuff is really going to help progress that healing process and distract your body a little bit and your mind a little bit from the pain, which isn't bad, but it's telling you that you need to focus a little more on active recovery days.
Thanks for joining us again. I hope that you enjoyed, you learned a little bit, and now you know what you can incorporate to really help that soreness kind of move along without doing things that are usually not as necessary. Comment below if you're surprised of anything, if you're going to check out the Lyric, let us know, and we'll see you next time.